Welcome back to Michigan Marksman. Today on the channel we're continuing our bulletproof test. Today on the channel we got caliber armor, steel, 3+ armor. As you can see, it's as usual we're doing our 6x6 panels. It's about quarter, half-inch thick. It says it was base coated, but it doesn't really look like it. Usually base coated, whenever I get panels like that, they're a lot rougher than this. As you can see, it's pretty smooth. But I'm interested to see if once we hit it with lead, it spalls or not. So we got our usual calibers. The KSG is back out for this, so we're gonna see what this can do. Let's get to shooting. As usual, we got our usual caliber: 9mm, 22, 45 ACB, 223, and 5.56 green tip. Shock 12 gauge. We got target loads, double buck, and a Magnum Slug. Let's start off with the 22. Alright, up first is 22 caliber out of my Rigger 1022 with the arch angle stock. Let's try it out. Alright, let's go take a look and see what damage we got. As you can see, we got a really small pinhole there from the 22. Nothing made it through the back, so it must be there is some base coat on there. I didn't see any spalling, and obviously that pushed up a little bit. So there's a little bit of a base coat on there. Alright, let's step out of 9mm. Alright, 22 just roughed up that base coat a little bit. Next up, 9mm on my Glock 19. Let's go check that out. So there was 22 and here's 9mm. As you can see, a little bit bigger hole. Did notice with that shot, we did get that base coat separated a little bit. So it is spalling a little bit underneath that base coat, which obviously, as you can see, is not very thick. I can see it's coming off there, but that might be a little bit of issue if you having it in your plate carrier, spalling out the sides. Really don't want that. Lead shrapnel is not fun, and no one likes having it plucked out of them in operations. So obviously, so far this plate is not holding up that well. Let's step it up to 45 ACP. Alright, 9mm and 22 have done mild damage, though 9mm did make that base coat spall off a little bit on the sides. Let's see what 45 ACP God's caliber does on my Glock 21. That doesn't look too good. Let's see what happened. Alright, so we did hit it. I flew through the air, so I was a little confused if I hit it or not. That's where 45 ACP hit. I can see along the edges and whatnot, we got a lot of spalling. You can see chunks of lead here and there. There's a really big one right there. It's coming out. You can see some of the jacket in there, if it focuses, but yeah, it stopped that as well, but obviously that base coat is spalling a little bit. Alright, let's step it up to the AR rounds. Obviously I'm pretty impressed besides the base coat right now. So let's continue shooting. Alright, the pistol rounds in 22 did relatively small damage to it. Let's step it up to an AR with 223 Remington. Alrighty, I smoked that. Let's go check it out. Alright, I missed high on one of those shots, so I shotgun and shot just a little bit lower. Might have to recite that EOTech again. I just put that on there with the magnifier, but took 2 shots and finally one was pretty good. Only mild dents in there, but as you can see, the base coat plate has come off quite significantly, so not really glued on too well. Obviously, your expectation with any body armor is it will stop a few shots, but after so many it won't stop much. But obviously we're stopping 223. Let's step it up to 5.56 green tip. Alright, 223 Remington did a little bit of rough surface damage to that and ripped off most of that base coat back off. Let's step it up to 5.56 green tip. See what it can do. Let's go take a look at that. Alright, we hit right here. That's a new hole. This was 45, 9mm, and 22. But there's the new hole for the green tip, and obviously you can see not much left of that base coat. That's kind of cool patterning with all the spalling and whatnot, but nice little dent. Wow. Quite more than I was expecting. So there's 223 and then there's 556. And we got a little bit of a dent there. Obviously, it's not going to come out the back on that panel. I wish I had like something like 30-06 or something like that to try on this just to see. But currently don't have that. Alright, let's do 12 gauge. Alright, the AR rounds did some pretty decent damage to that plate. Base coat is basically not connected anymore, but it's still hanging on. Obviously, I don't expect it to stop much. It's a little bit hotter than it has been the past few weeks I've been out here filming, so don't mind the sweat. Alright, up next, 12 gauge target load. Alright, let's go take a look at what we got. Alright, a lot of new spots from the target loads. Obviously, nothing probably is going to go through. No, a lot of little specks though. Look at all those. You can see all those specks of all that. I believe that's number 8. So yeah, it's stopping those, but you don't have Spall protection now, so that kind of sucks. Let's try double white buck. Alright, target load's basically finished off that base coat. Let's see if we can finish off the plate. I don't think it's going to do it, but double white buck out of my KSG 12. Alright, we got a couple new spots. I didn't hit it as much as I wanted to, but still you can probably see damage. Yep. We got some relatively, it's not really holes at all really compared to like the AR rounds, but we did hit it and it spalls off. Alright, let's try a slug right in the center, see what happens. But I don't think it's going to even make a huge dent. Alright, so far the plate has stopped everything we've thrown at it. Let's try a 3-inch Magnum slug. I'm sure it's not going to even make that big of an impact on there, but let's see. Alright, we finally got some relatively significant damage. Hit that right there with the Magnum slug. Got a pretty big bulge out the back now. We didn't get that with any of the other rounds. But as you can see, it's quite more significant damage than the rest of this. But still, the plate stopped everything to be shot at it today. Alright, so we got all done testing with this, and this thing held up pretty well. Caliber Armor 3+ steel coated. Held up pretty well today. I'm quite impressed with its performance. Definitely on the cheaper side of base coat. So after even just the pistol caliber 9mm, it already had started spalling around the edges, and it didn't last much longer after that. All in all, for $35, $45 plate, pretty good option. It stopped what it should. Obviously I don't have anything too high caliber that would probably go through this, but I'm impressed with the results today. Up next on our testing regimen, we got, I think, Spartan Armor, and then I think the other one's Predator. We're going to do the Spartan Armor next. So check back for that video 2 weeks from now. Just keep blasting.